They called it an experiment, a harmless test, just another weak human strapped to their machines. But she wasn't weak. She smiled. She flirted. She let them believe they were in control. And then she turned their little experiment into something far more dangerous. They called it an experiment. She called it war. And when she declared it, the galaxy would never be the same again. But what she did next will leave you shocked. Welcome back to Humanity Prime HFY, your home for the boldest human stories in sci-fi. I'm your storyteller, the voice that brings these dangerous little whispers to life. And today, I'll guide you through a tale where one woman turned captivity into chaos, and chaos into war. So sit back, lean in, and let's begin the story. They called it an experiment, a harmless study, a simple test. Just another human strapped down under bright alien lights. The room was cold, metallic, and cruel. Strange machines hummed softly, their needles glowing blue. Aliens in long coats whispered in their sharp language, never thinking she could understand. They pointed at her. They laughed. They called her weak flesh, a fragile creature of Earth. She lay still, her body strapped tight to the table. Her eyes closed, her lips curved in the smallest, most dangerous smile. Because she wasn't weak, and she wasn't helpless. She was waiting. The aliens believed they had her under control. They thought she was sedated, her body heavy from the drugs. But under her skin, just beneath her collarbone, a hidden implant pulsed. It was human tech, illegal, forbidden, powerful. It whispered in her veins, counting every beat of her heart, waiting for her command. One alien leaned close to her face. His breath smelled like rust and smoke. "You are soft," he hissed. "You are nothing but a toy." Her eyelids fluttered, her lips parted, and with the faintest laugh, she whispered back, "Careful. You might like playing with me too much." The alien frowned, confused. His partner barked something in their own tongue, annoyed. They didn't realize she was awake. They didn't realize she understood every word. And they didn't realize the game had already begun. The restraints around her wrists tightened, the machines lowered, a thin needle hovered over her skin. One alien chuckled. "This one is only human. She will break fast." Her smile widened. "Sweetheart, I don't break. I bite." Her voice was soft, teasing, dangerous. The aliens blinked in shock, and in that moment, her implant flared to life. The lights flickered. The machines stuttered. Every console in the room screamed with red warnings. She sat up slowly, her arms snapping free from the restraints as if they were paper. The aliens stumbled back, shouting in panic. The needle that was meant to pierce her skin. She caught it between two fingers, and she laughed. "Oops, did I ruin your little toy?" The aliens drew their weapons, hands shaking. But she was faster. She kicked off the table, flipping into the air, twisting like a dancer. Her boot slammed into one alien's chest, sending him flying into a console. Sparks burst. The smell of burnt wires filled the room. The second alien raised his weapon. She winked, and then she was behind him, her hand on his throat, her breath in his ear. "You should have kept me asleep," she whispered. "Now you're all mine." The alien screamed. His weapon clattered to the floor. She squeezed, not hard enough to kill, not yet, just enough to remind him who really had the power. The doors hissed open. More aliens rushed in, 6 of them, armed, ready. They froze when they saw her standing there, tall, alive, dangerous. A smile painted across her lips as if she were enjoying every second of this game. She tilted her head, her dark hair flung across her cheek. "6 of you? For me? Boys. I'm flattered." The aliens snarled. They raised their weapons. She dropped the one in her hand and licked her lower lip, teasing, taunting. "Go on, shoot me, if you think you can handle what happens next." The room pulsed with silence. The air was thick with tension. Every alien's finger tightened on their trigger. and she just stood there, smiling like a lover daring them closer. Her implant hummed again, brighter, stronger. The floor under her boots began to shake. Somewhere deep inside the ship, alarms wailed, systems crashed, gravity shivered. The aliens looked around in panic. She stepped forward, slow, deliberate, every movement dripping with confidence. "Let's make this fun," she whispered. Her eyes burned with fire. Her lips curved with promise, and as she raised her hand, the whole room seemed to bend around her. The lights died, the ship groaned, and in the darkness, her voice purred. "Now, who wants to play with me first?" The darkness inside the alien ship was alive. Wires sparking, alarms crying, metal trembling under invisible pressure. In the middle of it all, she stood calm, her chest rising slow, her smile sharper than any blade. The aliens fired. Blue bolts cut through the air, burning holes in the walls, but every shot seemed to bend, twist, miss her by inches. She moved like smoke. Her body swayed between beams of light as if she was dancing. Every step was a tease, every look a challenge. One alien cursed and rushed her, claws raised. She caught his wrist, spun him like a toy, and threw him into another soldier. Both slammed to the ground, groaning. She laughed softly, breathless but playful. "Really, boys? You bring me to your ship, strap me down, and this is the best you can give me? I expected more stamina." The aliens didn't understand her words, but they felt the tone, the smirk, the bite behind her voice, and it made their hands shake even harder. She slipped forward, close enough to brush her lips against one alien's ear. "Tell me," she whispered, hot breath making him flinch. "When you write your report, will you call this success?" He tried to strike. Too late. Her elbow cracked against his chin, dropping him in silence. The implant under her skin glowed brighter now, lines of light running down her suit like veins of fire. She could hear its voice in her mind, codes, access keys, streams of alien data opening like forbidden doors. They thought it was their experiment, but she was turning their own systems against them. Suddenly, the floor shifted, gravity pulled sideways, the aliens stumbled, cursing, one even dropped his weapon, floating helplessly in midair. She didn't stumble. She stood like a goddess in command of chaos. Her lips parted in a grin. "Oh, did I touch something I shouldn't have?" She kicked off the wall, her body spinning through the zero-gravity air. She landed gracefully, pinning another alien down with her boot pressed against his chest. Her voice dripped honey and venom. "You put me in a cage, and now I own the keys. How's that for science?" The alien beneath her wheezed, reaching for his blaster. She leaned closer, pressing her heel harder. Bad boy. Didn't your mother teach you manners?" With a sharp twist, she sent him unconscious. The others were panicking now, firing wildly, shouting in desperation. She bent backward, bolts of plasma cutting just inches from her face. Her laugh echoed in the chamber, wicked and sweet. "Missed me?" she teased. "Want to try again? I promise I'll let you hit something." They fired again. This time she caught the bolt on her stolen weapon, letting the energy dance along the barrel before firing it back. One alien screamed, collapsing in smoke. She licked her lips. That's better. At least you're warming me up." Then came the fizzy voice, deep, cold, from the intercom above. "Specimen 13, cease resistance. You cannot escape this vessel." She looked up, smirking. "Oh, darling, I'm not escaping, I'm just getting started." The voice paused, metallic and cruel. "You are one human against an empire." Her laugh was soft, slow, dangerous. "One human is all it takes." She grabbed the nearest alien, dragging him by the throat, and shoved him against the scanner panel. The door hissed open instantly, recognizing its own master's biosignature. She winked at the terrified creature. "Thanks for your service." And then she was gone, slipping into the glowing corridor beyond. The hallway stretched long and curved, lined with lights that flickered in warning. She could hear footsteps behind her, the chase already starting. But instead of fear, her hips swayed with amusement, every step deliberate, playful. She glanced back over her shoulder, voice purring through the air. "Come on, boys. Don't keep a lady waiting." Sirens screamed overhead. The ship's AI shouted commands in alien code. She ignored it all, her implant whispering sweet secrets into her mind. Lockdown codes, weapon systems, navigation paths. She had control. She just needed time, and she was enjoying every second she bought. At the end of the corridor, she found another locked door. Her hand slid across the panel. Sparks jumped. The door opened, revealing a massive chamber of glass tubes filled with blue liquid. Her smile faded. Her eyes narrowed. Inside those tubes, more humans. Men and women floating, unconscious, wired with machines. Experiments, dozens of them. For the first time, her teasing grin disappeared. Her voice turned sharp. "Oh no, no. This won't do." Her implant pulsed, lights in the chamber flickering violently. The aliens had taken more than her. They had taken her people. And that meant the war had just become personal. The chamber of glass tubes pulsed with a sick blue glow. Dozens of humans floated inside, silent, trapped in dreams not their own. Their bodies twitched as alien machines poked, tested, violated their every cell. She stood in the center, her fists curling tight, her lips pressed in a thin smile that was anything but gentle. "Oh, boys," she whispered, her voice dripping venom. "You really shouldn't have shown me this." Behind her, the heavy door hissed. Armed aliens stormed in, weapons raised, eyes blazing with panic. The leader barked an order, claws twitching on the trigger. She turned slowly, letting them drink in the sight of her, alive, unbroken, glowing with fire under her skin. Her implant shivered, neon lines racing down her body, outlining every curve with a dangerous light. She tilted her head. "Looks like I'm the entertainment tonight." One alien growled, another spat. They raised their rifles in perfect sync. She raised her finger to her lips. "Shh," she teased. "You'll wake my friends." The first bolt of plasma tore through the air. She moved before the sound even hit, spinning, sliding across the floor, her stolen weapon flashing in her hand. One shot. An alien dropped, gasping. Two more bolts lit the chamber. She ducked, rolled, came up behind a console. Sparks burst as energy slammed into the machinery. She laughed, voice ringing through the chaos. "Is this the best your empire can do? I've had rougher foreplay back on Earth." The alien snarled. Her grin only grew sharper. She leapt over the console, her body twisting like a predator in midair. Her boot cracked into one alien's jaw. She landed, spun, and fired point blank into another's chest. He crumpled, smoke rising from the hole. Her hair whipped across her face, sweat glistening along her neck. But she wasn't slowing down. She was only heating up. The leader of the squad roared, swinging a heavy staff charged with electricity. It cracked through the air, sparking bright. She smirked, stepping closer instead of back. "Careful, darling. You wave that around. Too much and I might get ideas." The alien struck down hard. She caught the staff with both hands. Energy surged up her arms, making the air sizzle. Her implant absorbed it, glowing brighter, pulsing like a heartbeat. She leaned closer, lips inches from his snarling face. Thanks for the charge. I was starting to feel tired." With one violent twist, she ripped the staff from his hands and swung it in a perfect arc. It slammed into his chest, hurling him across the room into the glass tubes. The chamber shook. One of the tubes cracked, leaking blue fluid onto the floor. Inside, a man's eyes fluttered open. His lips moved soundlessly against the fluid. Her gaze sharpened. Her heart pounded. They weren't just test subjects anymore. They were witnesses. They needed her. The remaining aliens fired in panic. Bolts screamed across the chamber. She dove, rolled, came up firing again, each shot finding its mark with lethal precision. One alien fell. Then another. Until only silence remained. Her chest rose and fell. Sweat trickled down her temple. She stood in the glow of shattered glass and dying sparks, surrounded by broken bodies. Slowly, she raised her hand and touched the cracked tube. The man inside pressed his palm against hers, separated only by the glass. Her lips curled into something dangerous. Don't worry, baby. I'll get you out. Then we'll show them what real human experiments look like. She turned, implant humming louder now, systems screaming in alien code she was already bending to her will. The ship was bleeding. She was cutting it open from the inside. But then, a deep rumble shook the walls. The entire chamber trembled, lights flashing crimson. Something heavier was coming. The far wall split open, and out stepped a new figure, taller than the others, armor black as night, eyes burning with golden fire. The aliens called him Overseer, the one who had designed this entire project, the one who nevi subjeveti in Shoin. There came down from the command decks. Until now, he stared at her, his voice low and cruel. Human female, you have been amusing, but amusement ends here. She smirked, wiping blood from her lip. Oh, sweetheart, I was just starting to enjoy myself. The Overseer raised his weapon, twice the size of hers, humming with lethal energy. The air between them crackled, thick with violence and heat. The humans in the tubes stirred, eyes opening, watching in silence, and she stood tall, defiant, lips curling in a playful whisper. Guess it's time for my first real dance partner. The Overseer stood tall in the broken chamber, his black armor reflecting the red glow of the alarms. Behind her, the glass tubes hissed, human bodies floating inside, their eyes flickering open one by one. Dozens of silent witnesses, watching the moment unfold. She tilted her head, hair falling loose across her cheek. Oh, so the man behind the curtain finally shows himself. The Overseer's golden eyes narrowed. You have caused enough damage. Your resistance ends now. She smirked. Funny, every man who's ever said that to me ended up flat on his back. The alien growled, raising his massive weapon. It hummed with power, twice as large as the rifles his soldiers carried. The chamber floor cracked beneath his boots as he stepped closer. She didn't flinch. She didn't run. Instead, she let her lips part in a slow, teasing smile. You've strapped me down, poked me with needles, called me weak flesh. Her voice dripped poison and honey together. And still, you don't get it. Humans don't break. The Overseer fired. A searing blast cut across the chamber, ripping through consoles, shattering glass. Blue liquid poured onto the floor, steam hissing. But she was gone. A blur. Her body rolled across the floor, spinning into cover behind a thick steel pillar. She laughed, her voice echoing through. It's the chamber. Oh, you're big, you're scary, you've got a big gun. Her lips curled into a wicked grin. But tell me, darling, do you know how to use it properly? The Overseer's growl shook the walls. He fired again, plasma slamming into the pillar, sending showers of sparks across her face. She crouched low, implant humming, feeding alien codes into her brain like a secret symphony. She whispered to herself, Come on, baby. Give me all your toys. Let's see what this ship is hiding. Her eyes lit up. The ship's schematics poured into her vision. Doors, weapons, gravity control, everything. She bit her lip, excitement and fury mixing inside her chest. Then she stood tall again, stepping out from cover. She pointed at the cracked glass tubes, at the humans still trapped inside. You called this an experiment. Her voice was sharp, fierce. But I call this a war crime. The Overseer raised his weapon again. She raised her voice louder. Her implant boosted the sound, carrying it through the ship's speakers, echoing into every corridor. You called it an experiment. Her eyes blazed, her smile cut deep. But I call it a declaration of war. Her words shook the chamber like thunder. Humans in the tubes pressed their palms against the glass, their eyes wide. Elsewhere in the ship, alien soldiers froze at the sound of her voice echoing through their halls. The Overseer roared and charged forward, his massive frame swinging the weapon like a hammer. She leapt aside, her body twisting in perfect rhythm. The weapon slammed down where she had been standing, shattering the floor. She slid behind him, her lips brushing close to his armored ear. I like a man who's rough. But can you last? He spun, claws lashing. She caught his wrist, twisted, kicked, sending him stumbling back. Her laugh rang out sharp and sweet. He recovered, snarling, swinging his staff again. She ducked, rolled, and came up with her stolen rifle, firing a blast straight into his chest. The room shook. Smoke burst. The overseer staggered, but didn't fall. His golden eyes glared with hate. "You cannot win, human." She blew him a kiss. "Oh, sweetheart. I don't need to win. I just need to make you scream." Her implant pulsed brighter now, her veins glowing with fire. The chamber walls flickered as ship systems bent to her will. Gravity shifted. The overseer stumbled for the first time. She laughed, standing over him like a goddess on a battlefield. Her voice purred through the intercom, reaching every ear on the ship. "Attention, aliens. Your experiment is over. From this moment on, humanity fights back." The overseer growled, pushing himself up. She cocked her head, watching him, enjoying the sight of power slipping from his hands. But then, a deeper sound shook the chamber. Not his weapon, not the alarms, something far worse. The ceiling split open, and descending from above came a second figure, taller, heavier, wings of black metal folding in firelight. Her eyes widened just slightly. Then her grin returned, sharper than ever. "Oh, now this party is getting fun." The second figure dropped from the ceiling, metal wings cutting through the smoke. It landed heavy, shaking the chamber floor. Its armored body glowed faint red, like fire buried under steel. The overseer rose to stand beside it, his golden eyes locked on her. Two giants, two monsters, and one human, smiling like she was about to have fun. She tilted her head, brushing hair from her face. Now this is interesting. Two big boys. And me. Don't make me choose who gets the first dance." The newcomers didn't laugh. They didn't even move. But their silence was louder than any roar. The ship groaned. Lights flickered. The tubes of humans behind her rattled against the wall. Every trapped soul stared at her, waiting, breathless. She took a step forward, heels clicking against the steel floor. Her implant hummed deep in her chest, each pulse like thunder under her skin. "Do you feel it?" she whispered, her voice carrying through the smoke. "That little shiver crawling down your spine? That's not fear of me. Not yet. That's your body warning you what happens if you underestimate a human." The overseer growled, lifting his massive weapon again. The winged beast spread its metal arms wide, sparks dripping from its claws. She licked her lower lip slowly, teasing them both. "Oh, I love it when men try to scare me. It's so much more fun to watch them beg later." The overseer roared, firing a blast of golden plasma. She bent backward, the bolt slicing just above her chest, close enough to burn the fabric of her suit. She laughed, flipping backward, landing light as a dancer. "Careful, darling. One more inch, and you might have hit something I actually enjoy." The winged beast charged, its claws glowing. She darted aside, her hand grazing its arm as it passed. Sparks flew where her touch met metal. Her implant drank in the energy, glowing brighter, brighter. She moaned softly, wicked and teasing. Thank you. I needed that." The beast stumbled, confused, as though her very touch had corrupted its circuits. She smirked, leaning close, whispering into the chaos. "Machines, muscles, monsters, doesn't matter. You all fall the same way." The overseer roared, swinging his weapon like a hammer. She ducked again, rolled across the floor, came up firing her stolen rifle into his armored chest. The shots sparked, denting the surface but not breaking through. Her grin only widened. Big, slow, and oh so overconfident. My favorite kind of plaything. The humans in the tubes pounded against the glass, their muffled voices rising in desperate hope. They were watching her, hanging on every move, every smile, every word, and she knew it. She played to them as much as to her enemies. She spun, fired again, then leaned against a console, panting deliberately, letting sweat shine across her neck. "Oh no, I'm all out of tricks. Whatever will I do?" The overseer stepped closer, claws raised. The beast loomed behind him, wings spreading wide, and then the ship itself betrayed them. Her implant flared, sending a surge of code through the alien systems. The lights died. Gravity shifted sideways. Weapons shut down mid-charge. The overseer stumbled. The beast froze, and her laughter filled the dark. "Oh, boys, you feel that? That's me inside your ship, inside your systems, inside your heads." Her voice dropped low, sultry, wicked. "Tell me, are you trembling because you're scared, or because you like it?" The overseer roared in fury, his golden eyes blazing in the dark. The beast's claws snapped open, searching blindly. But the humans in the tubes, they were smiling now. For the first time, they felt hope. For the first time, they saw fear in their captor's eyes. She stepped forward again, her body glowing like fire in the shadows. Her lips curved in a dangerous whisper. "You called it an experiment, but I think you just learned what happens when the experiment turns around and experiments on you." The chamber shook. Sparks burst, and then the glass behind her shattered. One of the tubes exploded outward, flooding the floor with glowing blue liquid. A man stumbled free, coughing, naked and shivering, but alive. Her eyes lit up. Her smile sharpened. "Oh, looks like I'm not the only human awake now." The man stumbled out of the shattered tube, gasping for air, his body dripping with blue liquid, his chest heaving. His eyes darted across the chaos, broken aliens, sparking consoles, the overseer looming like a beast, and her, standing tall, glowing with fire, smiling as though she was enjoying every second. She turned to him slowly, her eyes softening for just a moment. "Welcome back, soldier," she purred. "Hope you're ready to fight, or at least to keep me entertained." The man blinked, weak but alive, his lips parted. You're human." Her grin deepened. The last time I checked. And trust me, darling, you're going to like what this human can do." Before he could answer, the overseer roared and charged forward, weapons swinging like a storm. The winged beast flanked him, claws glowing red, sparks raining down with every step. The man froze in terror. But she didn't. She stepped between him and the monsters, her stance calm, her hips swaying as though she were walking into a lover's embrace. "Oh, you boys never learn. 2-on-1? That's supposed to scare me?" Her implant pulsed, feeding raw energy into her veins. Her rifle hummed in her grip. She smirked, glancing over her shoulder at the freed man. "Stay behind me, unless you're feeling brave." "I like brave." The overseer swung. She slid low, her boots sweeping his legs, sending the giant stumbling back. The beast lunged, claws slashing. She spun, twisting just inches away, her laugh sharp and playful. "Careful, you might scratch something expensive." She fired, the blast slamming into the beast's chest. It roared, staggering, smoke pouring from its armor. The man behind her stared in disbelief, his fear mixing with awe. She winked at him. "See? Told you. Humans don't break." The humans in the other tubes were pounding now, desperate to be freed, their eyes blazing with hope. Her implant sang louder, whispering instructions into her mind. Codes, locks, pathways. She had the power to break them all free. But she needed time. The overseer knew it too. "You cannot win, human. This ship belongs to us." She raised her chin, her lips curving in that wicked grin. "Not anymore. Tonight, baby. This ship belongs to humanity." Her hand shot out, touching the nearest console. Sparks exploded. The locks on 5 more tubes snapped open with a hiss. One by one, humans spilled onto the floor, coughing, weak but alive. Men and women, soldiers, scientists, even a scarred old veteran. Their eyes turned to her instantly, drawn by her voice, her fire, her fearless defiance. She spread her arms wide, laughing through the chaos. "Rise and shine, boys and girls. Time to show our hosts why humans bite back harder." The freed humans stumbled, grabbed fallen alien weapons, steadying themselves with fire in their eyes. For the first time, they weren't test subjects. They were soldiers again. The overseer roared, fury shaking the walls. The beast unfurled its wings, ready to slaughter them all. But now it wasn't one human against two monsters. It was humans against their captors. They fired, shouted, moved like a pack that had been waiting too long for this moment. Plasma lit the chamber. Aliens fell. Consoles exploded. The ship itself trembled under the storm. She led the charge, dancing through the chaos, firing with deadly precision. Every shot was a tease, every move a dare, her voice carrying above the noise. Still think we're weak? Still think we're your toys? Try again, sweethearts. The man who had first been freed fought at her side, shaky but determined. At one point, he caught her eye, his lips trembling. "You saved us?" She smirked, blasting another alien soldier into smoke. Don't thank me yet, darling. I'm not done playing." The overseer slammed his weapon into the floor, sending a shockwave through the chamber. The freed humans staggered, falling back. The beast roared, its wings slicing through the air, cutting down one of the consoles in a burst of fire. But she stood firm, her implant glowing so bright it painted her skin in firelight. She raised her weapon, her voice sharp, seductive, unstoppable. "You want to end this? Then come end it. But I promise you, I'll make you scream before you do." The overseer charged. The beast spread its wings. The freed humans tightened their grips on their weapons, their breath heavy. And she smiled, her voice dropping to a whisper that carried across the battlefield. "Well, come to humanity's first strike." The chamber exploded with fire. The chamber burned. Flames licked across shattered consoles. Blue liquid flooded the floor, mixing with alien blood. Freed humans shouted and fired, their voices fierce, echoing like thunder. At the center of it all, she moved like fire itself. Every shot she fired hit true. Every step she took turned chaos into command. The overseer's golden eyes blazed as he fought through the storm. His weapon cracked against the floor, sending shockwaves that threw men across the chamber. The winged beast slashed with claws of burning steel, scattering sparks with every swing. But no matter how hard they fought, no matter how many times they roared, they couldn't stop her smile. She spun, firing, laughing through the smoke. "Come on, boys. I thought this was supposed to be science. Where's the fun in numbers if you're losing so badly?" One human beside her, a young soldier, blood dripping from his forehead, shouted over the chaos. "What do we do?" She grinned, blasting an alien soldier into dust. "What humans always do, darling. We bite harder." Her implant surged, filling her body with lightning. Sparks raced down her arms, across her chest, painting her in fire. She reached out, her hand slamming against the chamber wall. Every system screamed at once. Doors across the ship burst open, sirens howled. The entire vessel bent to her will. And suddenly, every human tube across the ship began to crack. Hundreds of them. Across decks and corridors, glass shattered. Men and women fell to the ground, coughing, gasping, awakening from nightmares. The ship that had once been a prison was now a battlefield. The overseer roared, realizing what she had done. "You dare free them?" She turned, her grin wicked. "Oh, baby. I don't just free them. I unleash them." Behind her, the freed humans rose, weak but burning with fury. They grabbed weapons from fallen aliens, their voices lousy, ifting in unison. For the first time, it wasn't her alone. It was all of them. And together, they struck. The overseer swung at her again, massive weapons screaming with golden light. She ducked under it, rolling smooth, coming up with her rifle pressed against his chest. She fired. The blast shook his armor, denting it deep. The beast roared, claws raised to slash her in half. But three newly freed humans leapt on its back, stabbing, firing, screaming as they held it down. The chamber became war. Humans shouting, aliens cursing, sparks and blood painting the walls. And through it all, she stood taller, brighter, louder. She raised her voice above the noise, carried by her implant into every speaker across the ship. Listen to me, humanity. They called us an experiment. They called us weak flesh. They thought they could use us, break us, own us. But today... She fired into the Overseer's faceplate, cracking it down the middle. Today we remind them who we are. The humans roared with her, their voices shaking the metal walls. For Earth, someone shouted. For freedom, another cried. Her smile turned sharp, sexy, dangerous. For me, she purred, firing again. For us. The Overseer stumbled, his golden eyes flickering. The beast screeched, wings failing under the weight of furious humans tearing it apart. And then, the ship itself groaned, alarms wailing louder. The engines screamed. Her implant whispered the truth. The vessel couldn't take this chaos much longer. It was going to explode. She turned to the freed soldiers, shouting over the fire. Get to the escape pods, now! They hesitated, looking back at her. She smirked, her voice teasing even in the storm. Don't worry, sweethearts. I'll keep our hosts entertained. They obeyed, rushing for the doors, carrying the weak, pulling each other forward. But she stayed. She faced the Overseer one last time. Me, his armor cracked, his chest burning, his voice shaking with rage. You cannot destroy the Empire, human, he spat. You are nothing but one girl. She stepped close, pressing her rifle under his chin, her lips curling into a whisper hot as fire. One girl is all it takes to start a war. The ship shook again, steel screaming. Explosions ripped across the decks. She turned her head, hair falling across her cheek, and winked at the nearest camera. For anyone watching, humanity is coming for you next. The chamber erupted in fire,